What a crazy day. In the middle of my night, Israel attacked Iran, and that led to a major drop here in the markets. But currently we are already recovering it. The problem is, are we going over the weekend lower, or was that already it? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in here on this Friday. So as I just mentioned, Israel striked Iran in my night, and for other people around the world in their morning or late evening, because they don't want that Iran has the capability to enrich nuclear material, and that's why they attacked one of the nuclear sites, and also all the, as far as I understood, a huge part of the military complex within the government, and even scientists that were working on nuclear sites or were outstanding in the in their expertise about nuclear research. So that led to that the dollar pumped here a little bit back to the upside, but the dollar index is still currently below the 98.5% level and outside that bearish pennant or bear flag, whatever you want to call it. So in the best case scenario on Monday, we're gonna get here a continuation into lower levels, but I would not hold my breath if we would just see some consolidation before that is actually happening. But regardless of that, the rejection will come here at some point that will get us here below 95 points and lower. When we're looking at Bitcoin honestly does not look that bad. So I was yesterday talking about that we are potentially getting here a retest of the EMA ribbon on the daily chart, and ties too long from there if I would not have already Bitcoin trades running. So now what we did is we went almost all the way down to the bottom of the EMA ribbon and got a massive bounce all the way back up here to $104,800. We were earlier even higher than that. We were already at $105,800. $600, sorry, I don't want to say something wrong, $600 at some point. Nothing has really changed here on the daily chart from a structure perspective, because we are still above the midsection of the EMA ribbon. Only this trade setup is here in the short term was invalidated, but we are really close, and from there I would still re-enter this. So if you are looking for a trade, that might be the trade that you want to re-enter. That might be the trade that you want to re-enter at $106,000 approximately. We're $1,000 away. That's less than 1%, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm gonna show you now on some other charts here in a moment why we have to be a little bit careful, at least over the weekend. So one reason for that is this hourly chart, because here on the 1 hourly, let me see, can I pull this up here a little bit? So the problem is that the stochastic is here already topping out, and we are forming here a pattern that I have seen many times when we are bouncing. So you get here the liquidity grab, then you get a bounce, and then you roll over again, create a higher low, and then you come back to the upside, potentially forming here a W pattern. If we are not forming a W pattern, then first of all, the rising wedge target would be here in that scenario if we start breaking down, and that is a short that you could take all the way down to $101,400 approximately. So I am quite sure if we are not able to reclaim $106,000 here first, that the next leg to the downside is potentially a higher low. We come back up, form that W pattern, then get continuation to the upside. So, but this can stretch out over the whole weekend to do that. It is also possible that that W pattern will shape over the 4 hourly chart, so which would then be in alignment with dragging it out until next week. Just want to make you aware of that. Regardless of that, I have opened new positions. I'm going to show you that in a moment, and bought the dip regardless of what's happening here, because I think these positions going to pay me really well here in the short term and midterm. So a reclaim of $106,000 is needed for continuation to the upside. If you were not able to buy the drop here all the way in that region, that's absolutely fine. Then wait for $106,000, because in between is no man's land. You don't want to long from that region here, especially with the hourly topping out on the stochastic, the RSI flatlining, and the MACD is currently bullish, but that can change here really quickly when the RSI starts to turn down in conjunction with a sell signal on the stochastic RSI. Then price will start falling to the downside again. Now on the 4 hourly chart, here we got now on the MDX algo scalp gradients Now green candles, remember I told you it's really rare that we get here basically in every single candle different color. Yesterday before the war it looked like that we're turning around, but then of course we didn't because war broke out once again. But on the other hand, it looks like that we are close to a bottom because we are getting on the reactor indicator again 2 dot plots. Look here the last time, 2 dot plots pump to the upside, 2 dot plots move to the upside. So here something similar should be happening while we have these 2 dot plots here, that we should reverse now, most likely back to $108,000. Then we could potentially come back down again, retest one more time, $105,000, then get here the next leg to the upside. If you want to trade these trades with me together, guys, then don't forget, sign up on Blowfin. There is a link in the pinned comment below and in the description below. You get up to $5,000 in sign up and deposit bonuses. Plus, if you deposit at least $500, I will still let you into the $500 to $10,000 challenge, but only until Sunday. Sunday, I completely want to close the group. There's already a bunch of people in there. You will be not too late. We got stopped out on the trades yesterday with really small stop losses. They were really tiny, the stop losses that I put on there. So most of the people have still all their capital, or they're still running the trades, which is also fine. So nothing is lost and you have still a chance to get in there. What you have to do is sign up with the link in the pinned comment below, deposit $500, and then write me on Telegram or on Twitter a private message with your Blowfin number. Then we're gonna verify if you followed all the steps, and if you did, you're gonna get the invite into the Telegram group. So yeah, if you still want to be part of that, there is still a little bit of time, but you're running out because basically maybe later, maybe I'm gonna send some new trades into the group. But for sure, over the course of the weekend, I'm going to send some more trades. So you want to make sure that you have followed all the steps to be part of that. Again, the link is in the pinned comment below and in the description below. And otherwise, if you just want to support the channel, you're also welcome to just use the Blowfin link. On the 12-hourly chart, so here things looking not so good right now, but I'm going to change your perspective here really soon. So here, first of all, in a minute, we are closing the current 12-hourly candle. That is, in my opinion, looking really bullish here, as long as we are not getting continuation to the downside. And the stochastic RSI will also be about to bottom out here. The RSI is already slightly turning around, will turn around here in a minute. And the MACD looks like that this is just a fake out. So now let me change your perspective here in a second. You see here the major resistance is currently the 50 moving average at $106,855, starting from $105,800. But if I change this to a daily chart, what you see then is that we just retested the 50. The 50 moving average, we got an insane bounce from here, a lot of strength, signaling us that bulls are defending the 50 moving average and that we're most likely going to get continuation to the upside. But again, we need to watch the levels that I mentioned here just earlier. $106,000, $107,000 are levels that we need to overcome to get here proper continuation. But there are signs here, even on that daily chart, with a fair value gap from $105,800 to $108,200 in that candle here, that will more or less guarantee that price will come back up here to fill that fair value gap in that candle. So when do value gaps occur? When you have a rapid move to the downside or to the upside, where price had no time to consolidate in that range, and that creates like a footprint on the chart, and that is then a gap, and that means price will come back to fill that gap in that footprint. So and that's why you see here, when I go here now to I think on the 1 hourly chart, that happened a lot already. So you see here there was also a fair value gap that got already more or less, it got closed here with that wick. Then we have another one, a tiny one up there, but that's not really something that we need to talk about. Here on the 15 minutes chart I saw earlier another one. So here, for example, here is another one. So you find them all over the chart, So, and when you know what to look for, then you know where price will most likely go to in the near future. On this daily chart, you can also here see that we have confluence around the level from where we bounce, because there's also the 0.786 level on the Fibonacci extension levels. But here again, my warning, guys, if we over the weekend get an escalation of the war, expect that price most likely will go in direction of $100,000, in direction of this downward sloping support line, tested one more time and then we go back up from there. So if you take any positions, guys, buy either spot, and if you do leverage, use really small amounts of leverage. I talk here 2, 3, maybe 4x if you're a little bit crazy, you know, but not more than 4x. You can scalp in between. That's also what I did today. I scalped a little bit in between the prices when they were bouncing with higher leverage, but for that you should know what you're doing. Now on the liquidation levels, here we have now taken out all the long liquidity. There is a little bit left here at $102,300, but that is basically nothing. And we see here shorts piling up again at 108,600 to 107,750, and potentially, if I draw here a line like this, so every time when we get here a steep correction like this, at some point price just snaps back to the upside. So I would be not surprised to see that here in the next 24 hours, that price will climb above the 250 moving average on the 4-hourly chart. So you basically got here almost a sniper entry again to the original trade setup that we were trading. That's why I also mentioned, remember I mentioned the last 2 days, I said, or even 3 days, I preached, take profit, don't round trip the profits. So if you were in this trade, I hope you did not round trip and took a little bit money off the table, because now you see why. You know, you would have basically round tripped. You're of course a little bit now again in the green, but not that much like all the way where we were here up here. You know, so when I told you $109,000, $110,000, take something off the table, raise your stop loss, then you can re-enter. So even if you would have had your stop loss at $107,000, while you took profit at 109, 110, you made a really good amount of money and could re-enter now with all that profit and to ride it again to the upside. If you want to understand how I am able to read the charts and are also able to take advantage of all these movements, guys, there is right now a 50% discount on my program. Only until Monday, guys. Only until Monday. There are links in the pinned comment below and in the description below. These are direct payment links. Just that you know, go here to my website amcrypto.us. You can look here under courses, what's in the courses, and if you want to get a 50% discount on it until Monday, only until then it's valid. Use the links in the pinned comment below and the description below. Like I said, there are direct payment links. Then on the liquidation heat map, also here on the 2 weeks chart, we have grabbed here the majority of the liquidity that was stacked all the way down to $102,500. From there we got a massive bounce. I was expecting this if we come down here, but I was not expecting actually that we get here so quickly into these lower levels here once again. But what has not changed is that we have here around $111,000, still the highest concentration of short liquidity stacked up, and there's currently $142 million only at $111,429 sitting. So here the next major short squeeze in my opinion will come when we break above $106,000 all the way up to potentially $108,000. Then we're going to consolidate a little bit again, potentially then with the next move into higher prices. On the total free market cap here on the daily chart, we came back above 800, basically 800. We are almost there at $835 billion again. So most likely we are closing above that level, which is good for altcoins for continuation here in the total market cap. But as you can see, we got now multiple times rejected. Maybe I have to make that range actually bigger. Let me see here. Maybe this looks more, that looks more accurate for a downward sloping channel. So we got here now 3 or 4 rejections from this downward sloping trend line of this parallel channel, but we also managed to stay within that channel. So that is also something that I count to the bullish side here, that we are holding within that channel here. And as long as we are able to reclaim here by Monday, maximum by Monday, $835 billion, we should get also here continuation back into higher levels, lose that level, and we come all the way down here to $780 billion. Then the Bitcoin dominance is raging here to the upside, not really surprising. First we dumped, then we pump in Bitcoin. That usually leads to the Bitcoin dominance to go back to the upside. But as you can see here, we got rejected from the upward sloping trend line in that rising wedge pattern. So also here, I don't expect that we break here to like 66, 67% here once again. Maybe we touch briefly on 65 one more time, and then we continue the downwards trend that we were already in. So now let me show you some of the positions that I bought. So here you can see I just actually opened the hype trade, and it's already $700 in profit. My Bitcoin trade $6,800 in profit, 1,100 on Ethereum, almost 1,000 on Solana. I think it will flip any moment into 1,000. Sui $1,100, and also Injective $760. So I allocated here $100,000 into these trades throughout the course of the day. I basically did this, I think, around my lunchtime, so not that long actually ago, like 3-4 hours ago, is when I opened all these trades. And you can see here, if you know what you are doing, you can actually make here really good money. I'm up here right now, $12,000 basically, $12,000 in a matter of a couple of hours, guys. You know, so for some people that is half their yearly salary, which is insane. So, and if you want to trade with me altcoin trades on Bybit, guys, then here is still a $30,000 sign up and deposit bonus for you available. Plus you can get a Bybit card, and if you're in Europe, Europeans can sign up again on Bybit. So take the link in the pin comment below and the description below, sign up there right now and trade all the altcoin trades with me together, because I'm about to give you some new ones. The Ethereum Bitcoin chart is now struggling again with that upward sloping trend line. Let's see if we can close in 2.5 days above that line. So I suspect that we are going to do that, regardless that we dropped here on the dollar chart quite a bit. So we went all the way down to $2,436. Here also massive bounce back to the upside. We're currently above the 0.5 level, $2,553, yeah, or more or less above that. We are not that far away from it. So also here, if we close above the 0.5, that is one of the potential bounce levels. I expect continuation back to the upside and a reversal, and that would be one of my entry points then. Yeah, that would be one of my entry points, because the original setup out of that ascending triangle is invalidated because of that drop. So unless I want to change now here the, yeah, okay, if I would change that, then this ascending triangle, but then also we have way more time to break out of this. So you have to also take that into consideration, because now we're not talking about an imminent breakout, since we have here now more data, but we talk about a breakout here in early July at some point, you know. So let's see how this is going to play out. I leave it for the moment like it is, because it is accurate more or less. Let's see how this is going to play out here. If we are closing above the 0.5 level and we start reclaiming here level by level, could be breaking out here within 7 days, which would then again render this pattern invalid, and yeah, maybe there was no pattern to begin with. But for now, this looks accurate with a deviation. That's what that is the word that I was looking for, with a deviation, with a failed breakout. Now on the Ethereum Wyckoff accumulation chart, nothing has really changed. What you want to see here is that we're holding on to $2,450. That is the support level from where we are currently bouncing all the time from. And you want to see a retest of $2,800. So in the meantime, while we're consolidating here in that range, there, at least on the higher time frames, there's not really anything to do right now, you know. So you want either that we move to $2,450 so that you can re-long their Ethereum, or if you want to take a little bit of a risk, $2,600 is another level from where you can long Ethereum. If you miss any of these levels here, 2,450, 2,600, then unfortunately you have to wait until $2,800 is broken, with at least a 4-hourly candle closing above $2,800. So right now, the levels that I would be personally watching for Ethereum is 2,600, 2,450, within that range. No, so actually at these exact levels is where I would enter a new long position, and in between you do nothing. You don't, unless you want to buy spot, then you can buy spot, but no leverage, guys, no leverage, unless you really want to trade with like 4x, you know, so 4x, not more than that, because look here, that drop that we got, that was a 14% drop to the downside from top to bottom. So if you would have entered here by accident the top, and you would have had 10x leverage, you would be liquidated. You would be even with 7x liquidated. So only with 6x, you would have barely survived that. So that's why I'm telling you 4x maximum on Ethereum. The next one is Solana. So Solana, here the original trade setup comes now back into play. If we reclaim $147, you can trade Solana here. Here, massive overextension and oversold on the stochastic RSI, also on the RSI. The MACD is slowly turning back here to the bull side right now, because we see here the sell pressure fading away. that will still take the current 4-hourly candle and the next one to get here another buy signal. But if we are able to reclaim $147, I would consider entering a trade from here and then trade this first, not to $155, but all the way up here again to 162. 162, 163 would be my target here. So, and again, remember guys, I said to you, take profit here when we run into these ranges. I want you to take profit here, just in case that we come down into this range here, not expecting that we would go all the way down here, but into this one here, so that you don't round trip back into that entry. So I hope you took here some profit, had your stop losses at break even or slightly higher than that, to walk away here with money. Now you can use that money to actually re-enter way lower when we reclaim $147, because also, so from 152 to 154, that is a fair value gap. So and now if we just look at the percentage gain from here up to there, so we're talking about like a 10 to almost 12% move into here the next potential target. So from there we're going to reassess again the situation if we trade continuation into $200 and complete here the whole layout, or if we stop potentially at 180 and close everything. So here again, step by step, you're going to take profit along the way up, and then we're going to reassess the situation if we add back into the trade and continue, or if we just let it ride or close it completely. The next one is SUI. So SUI is one of the trades that you also just saw here on Bybit. It's not too late to enter this right now because also here heavily overextended on the stochastic. RSI also pretty flat and oversold. MACD slowly turning around here, so I expect here a bounce at least to $3.20. Again here, massive fair value gap in that candle here, so that's why I expect that we come all the way back up to close that. Potentially we go higher from there, I don't know yet, but for now that is my target. That is a 7% move here to the upside, sorry, a 6% move. Now it's a little bit less, it's like a 5.3% move, and I would also remain with that stop loss here of $2.95. Just that you see that is a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio trade, so absolutely fine, but it is a short-term trade, guys. So this is a scalp trade, so pay attention. A scalp trade can change really quickly, so don't hold this on high leverage while you are sleeping, so set your stop losses, set your take profit, and then you're good to go for this. But this looks really good here for a short-term bounce all the way up here to $3.18, 19, and 20 cents. Hype. So as you can see, I have opened just a hype trade a couple of minutes before I started the video, and the reason for that was that we were slightly above the golden ratio, broke already back into the golden ratio here slightly. So let me adjust that setup here. I'm gonna trade this here back to like 40, actually to $44.70. That's why I'm going to trade this too. Maybe also here with continuation, because here we got a strong buy signal on the stochastic RSI. The MACD already showing really good signs here for buyers stepping in and pushing the price higher. I was just a little bit sad that I was late to buy Hyperliquid, but that's absolutely fine. Here also, I still believe that you are not too late to enter this. Because if you would enter this right now, while we have flipped now the golden ratio back into potential support, yeah, you are missing out on like 1.5%. So which is not the end of the world, So if you would enter this right now, that would be absolutely fine, because I still believe that we are completing here the W pattern target. So we basically came just down here, retested the neckline of the W, bouncing off from this right now. So if we take that target, then we're talking about 14.3%. And if, from current price levels would be 13% roughly. So also still worth taking the trade. But guys, I want to mention here again, things can escalate really quickly and change quickly over the weekend with the war escalating, if that's going to happen. So have your stop losses in place, but I bought the dip because even if I have to take profit on my trades while everything goes down again, that's fine. I made at least some money on that whole move. So, and that's how you should also think about that, to take advantage of these opportunities when they are coming to you. And also, even if we go a little bit lower over the weekend and I have to close my trades, I get a better chance to enter actually lower and make even more money than in the following week. So that is the mindset that you should approach these things with, and also have not too much leverage, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in here on this Friday. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money tomorrow.